What is going on, Savages? Let me decrease the volume of the background music. I'm a couple of Fireball and teas in, so I'm feeling all right. Let's see. Let me rearrange this camera a little. All right. So we've been going really hard this week on Ravencoin Assets and restricted assets and tags and things like that. I'm still building on the whole scenario and still working on it, and I figured we would just continue on with that tonight. Last night we covered some different stuff. We covered mining profits for the previous I don't even have my Savage shirt on. I'm like all out of whack. So yeah, we covered mining profits for, I've got the shared rigs that we do. We mine CCX, and we've been mining CCX for almost a year now straight, and we covered that last night. And there was a couple other things that just throughout the week that we need to kind of clear up a little bit. Just like, I'll give you an example. Last night I think I said while we were covering all the profits and stuff for CCX, we mined like 300 something in a month on one rig, and I think I said that if CCX went to $1, which it could pretty easily because it went to 86 cents before, then that would mean that we mined $300 in that day. I think that's what I said, but it's not a day, it's a month, right? So yeah, I thought about that afterwards. I was like, wait a minute, did I really say that was a day? Anyway, let's get into it. All right, so I figured that we would just probably jump right into some more Ravencoin Assets, even though you guys hate it. But I'm interested in it. I think it's cool, I don't know. I think it's silly to really support a coin, and like a coin, like throwing your hash power at it, pointing your rigs at the project, and not know what it's all about. And I tell you what, something really cool happened today. I mean, it wasn't that cool, I guess, but I think I tweeted a question about Bitcoin, whether or not Bitcoin was decentralized, or I'm sorry. Yeah, I told you, I'm a couple of Fireball and teas in. Whether or not Bitcoin was deflationary or inflationary. And it was surprising, some of the responses. It was like a poll, like a question. And Bits Be Trippin' actually replied, and he brought up something that I hadn't actually thought about. But Ravencoin is actually deflationary, because it's kind of a trick question with regards to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is disinflationary, I think is the correct term. So, it's not necessarily, it is inflationary until a certain point, up until 2140 or whatever the last day is for, or the last, whenever the last Bitcoin was mined, right? As long as they don't change the total supply from 21 million, then it's supposed to be somewhere around 2140. It'll probably be a little bit earlier than that based on hash power and stuff. But, so Bits Be Trippin' was like, in the case of Ravencoin is actually deflationary, because in order to create an asset on Ravencoin, you have to burn Ravencoin. It costs Ravencoin to create an asset. And the primary purpose of the whole platform is to create assets and transfer assets and manage assets. So that is that was an eye-opening, because I knew that you burned Raven in order to create the assets, but I never really connected the dots with regards to it. That makes it a deflationary currency, right? I thought that was pretty cool. So that was really eye-opening for me. That was really, really cool stuff. I dig that kind of stuff. That's why I throw out those questions like I do sometimes on Twitter. So I can get that kind of engagement, and actually, people that are way smarter than me can actually reply and say, no, this is the way this works or whatever. So it's kind of cool. Most people were saying that it was deflationary, which is wrong with regards to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is it's actually disinflationary. So the inflation decreases each year, right? or decreases over time. Not each year, but it does decrease over time to 0. And then after that, as long as no changes are made in the protocol, and the miners and nodes all don't agree to increase the supply, because that's something that you got to think about. And this is the danger. This is one of the dangers of centralization. All right. So if you, hey, what's up, Boris and Red Panda? So if you haven't really considered how this works, right, with regard to centralization and how that affects a project. So let's say that, and there's some debate on how much hash power is actually controlled by China and all that stuff for Bitcoin. But let's say that someone came up with an idea to actually increase the total supply of Bitcoin. Let's say that they wanted to double it, right? So it was 42,000 or 42 million. Wow, 42 million total, and they put in the Bitcoin improvement proposal, right, to make that happen. Well, to ask that to happen, if it made it into, I think the way that this would work is if it made it into the appropriate channels and the repositories, right, then it could be accepted by miners and nodes. If all those nodes and those miners are centralized into one, let's say that China owns or manage or has 60%, which is speculated that they do. They have about 60% of the Bitcoin mining hash rate, right? Or the Bitcoin network hash rate. So those miners could vote and actually get that increase in supply approved, right? I'm probably butchering this whole thing, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm basically saying that, there is a 21 million limit on Bitcoin, but it could actually change. It's not something that is no shit, like permanently in the code, right? So just keep things like that in mind whenever you start thinking about centralization and decentralization and the benefits of decentralization compared to centralization. Yeah, you can definitely tell I've had a couple. All right, let's see what's going on in the chat. What's up, Chan Coin? What's up, Diamond X? And yeah, true, Diamond X, total supply never accounts for lost coins. And I can guarantee you, like, they speculate that there are, what do they say? I think they say that there's about 4 to 5 million that are lost. I think it's more than that. Personally, I think it's a lot more than that. But, there's not a whole lot of way of proving it. I mean, everything's visible on the blockchain, so you could go and do analysis on wallets and look at wallets that haven't moved coins in a long time, like Satoshi's wallets and all that. But I don't know. I think it's way more than 4 or 5 million. But so the actual total supply might be, circulating supply might be a lot less than what we think it is, which is cool. All right, so you guys are chatting it up over there. Yeah, Red Panda, Ravencoin is literally deflationary, and I thought that was really cool. I thought that was really cool. It was like it was a revelation for me. I mean, I knew it. I knew that the coins were burned whenever you create assets, but I never really applied that to the fact that makes it deflationary with a maximum supply of 21 billion, right? Which I think the supply is a little high on Ravencoin. You get 5,000 per block. I mean, mining rewards. So it's kind of they did some weird math with applying that to Bitcoin, right? Just, I don't know. Seems like a lot. Seems like a lot of coins out there for Ravencoin, but it is what it is at this point. Yeah, I think that a lot of people, I think we're probably missing millions of, a huge percentage that we're not even accounting for with regards to the number of Bitcoin that are out there and actually accessible. You know, I don't know. Anyway, all right. So let's kind of take a look at our scenario that we've been building on Ravencoin, the assets and all the stuff that we've been messing around with. Let me get back here. We'll go over this just a little bit. We basically came up with this idea to, let me get my little, see if I can get in the corner down here. No, it's not gonna let me. I was trying to get my face on the screen so I could talk to you guys, but I can talk anyway. All right, so me and Serpent, which is another fellow YouTuber, he and I talked about this and wanted to kind of come up with an idea for you know, creating a scenario where you could use restricted assets, and it definitely has morphed over time. It was not, it changed a lot over the week and a half or whatever it's been that we've been covering this, because restricted assets, if you're not familiar, they are on the Ravencoin network. Yeah, and if you're not familiar with what Ravencoin is for at all, it's basically for the issuing and transfer and management of assets, right, at the protocol layer. So yes, Ethereum has the capability of doing tokenized assets, like real world assets on the blockchain, right? So like you do a connection between the two. A good example, probably one of the best examples, is real estate. So with real estate, let's say that you have a rental property, right? And if you tokenize the rental property, you put it on the blockchain, you put it on Ravencoin, then you could sell parts of it, right? So let's say that you created a main asset on the network for the rental property. You had investors, so they owned a certain percent of that property. Then you would issue them the appropriate tokens for that main asset that represent their percentage, right? And then the cool thing about it is that in that same, using those tokens, you could actually distribute dividends. So like, let's say that the property had income, or you had profits from the rental, you know, rent being paid and minus expenses and all that stuff, then you could distribute those evenly throughout all the token holders. And you could do all this without knowing who they are, because that was the thing where that's what restricted assets kind of fixed, because there was that situation where it would create a problem with securities laws to do it the old way with just a main asset, a unique asset, or a sub asset, the way that the old Ravencoin network was. It's still the same, but the original assets that were available at the end of 2018, I believe, they were not going to comply with securities laws in the way that restricted assets were going to. So that is something that, so in the case of the real estate or the rental property, so those investors in the property could do KYC with an approved, or a company that is recognized as Know Your Customer proof company, like Finclusive, I think, is the one that is out there right now that is kind of working with Ravencoin a little bit. So Finclusive, if Finclusive did your KYC and your AML and all those identity validation things, then they could actually tag your address, your Ravencoin address, which also holds the restricted assets that apply to your percentage of the rental property ownership, right? Now you are in compliance with securities laws because you've been KYC. They know who you are, they know your address, they know everything that they need to know about you. And if there was some type of an investigation or some proof that needed to be given of your identity or your involvement with the rental property by authorities, then that could be done through the whole KYC and that company, Finclusive, or actually, you know, performing that identity validation for whatever the company is or whatever the asset is. So now I'm kind of going like way out there, but That's basically what it was about, and that's why they came out with the restricted assets and tags and qualifiers and all that stuff. And that's what we were kind of building this scenario with Serpent and this restricted asset use case example. So the example goes like this. Serpent has a Subaru authorized service center, and he accepts, there's this other company called VIP Experience, I think, VIP Ventures that has a subscription service that Subaru owners can subscribe to, right? And once they are subscribed to it, they are issued a restricted asset to their Ravencoin address that they then pay. They can like pay one or whatever whatever it's divisible by, whatever it costs. So let's just say for simplicity, it costs one of the restricted assets, the VIP Experience restricted asset, to actually experience the VIP experience at an authorized service center. And I think we came up with, let me see here, through this. Yeah, so like the example of what you would get, the authorized service center was priority scheduling, access to a VIP room with refreshments, an open bar, massage parlor, etc. Right? So we were kind of goofing around with that whole idea. It was kind of silly, but you can see how this is like a subscription that a Subaru S209 owner could subscribe to, and then because Serpent X is a VIP, authorized service center for Subaru, then he supports those restricted assets in that subscription because he has those at his facility, right? He has those at his service center to support that subscription. So that's kind of like, in a nutshell, that's basically what we were looking at. I go on to describe some, the overview and everything of how this works a little bit. And this was kind of like our checklist for what all the different steps that we were going through. I shrunk down the ones that we've already completed, and I've got new ones here listed that we probably need to do tonight so that we can kind of get through it and this is going to clean some stuff up too. And we're going to look at, which I kind of completely ignored during this whole thing initially, is the whole IPFS integration, or the IPFS capabilities of assets on the Ravencoin network. I really wanted to highlight that because I think it's super important. So that's what we're going to kind of look at tonight. We're going to do some burning, some asset burning and recreating and transferring and cool stuff like that. So that's what we're going to look at tonight. I have updated our little flow chart here. As you can see, so you have Subaru USA as a main asset on the Ravencoin network. And I put the cost and the address just for documentation and stuff. But you can see how much each type of asset costs, and you can see that whenever you start getting into the restricted assets, which are mainly for security token offering situations where you're going to launch an STO, you could launch it on Ravencoin, and then a lot of people go, okay, so what? So I'll launch this coin, right? I launch this STO. Let's just say that Red Panda Mining launches an STO on the Ravencoin network. So his token name is RPM, right? So it's Red Panda Mining, and then the token name is RPM. Well, okay, so what are we going to do with that token? How could it ever increase in value other than over-the-counter type stuff? Good question. Because the answer is compatibility mode in Ravencoin on the Ravencoin network. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This is something that they definitely thought about whenever they were designing this. So if you go, it's basically an emulation situation where an exchange can use the same setup, the same daemon as Ravencoin itself, but it's actually going to, because if you're not aware, so an exchange has a wallet just like we have a wallet, and it's an exchange wallet. There are some other, depending on the project and depending on what it is, Ravencoin is a Bitcoin fork. is a fork of Bitcoin, so it's pretty simple to integrate into an exchange. So, but basically they will just, there's some slight modifications that they would have to make to actually support the RPM token, for example. So let's say that RPM, we chose a port number of, I don't know, 5535. Okay, so that's the port number for RPM coin. It's basically as simple as you can see right here. Every Bitcoin type or Ravencoin type coin uses a different RPC port. In our case, it's going to be 5535. Okay, you'd have to check to see if anything else uses that or whatever, but just for simplicity, we'll just call it, you know, we'll say that it's available. Okay, so an exchange can configure multiple Ravencoin assets by selecting a different port for each asset. This is so important, guys. Think about that. That's all they have to do is configure a new port, a different port for each asset. Now, this can get pretty crazy, especially if there are lots of assets that they're going to be listing. But in this case, we're talking about Red Panda Mining, which would probably be about the only one that they would list, right? It's the only one they really need to, because, I mean, you know, it's Red Panda, so they only need that one. All right, so they would just basically modify their raven.conf file, their configuration file, which is very similar to our own files that we have for our configuration of our wallets. It's basically the same thing. And you can see right here that Ravencoin uses port 8766. You know, you would see that if you fired up your wallet, if you allow it through your firewall of your computer, you would see that it uses 8766. And yeah, so then you see down here, you just go, you would add emulate, and then the coin name. In our case, it would be RPM. Colon 5535 for the port, and that would be in your Raven configuration file. And then now that exchange could actually support the trading of RPM coin, or whatever we're going to call it, right? So that's pretty much it. I mean, it seems to be, I read through this, it seems to be a very simple configuration to support it. And I learned about this a long time ago, whenever the restricted assets were just being discussed. And actually, no, you know what? It was even before that, because it was whenever the assets were actually launched. I was wondering, because there was, you know, murmurs or rumors that you could actually launch a token on here. And I was trying to figure out how. I was like, okay, so the token actually exists on the Ravencoin network. So how would it be listed on, you know, an exchange separate from Ravencoin? But this explains how that's done. And if you think about it, how many tokens or how many projects have launched on Ethereum as ERC20 tokens, right? And those tokens are listed on exchanges. Now, there's different methods that they use to do that, but that kind of shows you that it can be done, right? And in the case of Ravencoin, it's probably easier, because you really only need the port and the name of the coin. So I don't know. I thought it was super cool. Yeah, I'm drinking, Shuby. I got my drink. What's going on, man? Hopefully I don't choke. Why do I look so red? I look like really, hang on a second. I gotta fix this. I look like, I don't know. What in the world is going on? I haven't been drinking that much. All right, here we go. That looks a lot better. I forgot to optimize my cameras before the stream. That's funny. Like super red, like I've been day drinking all day or something. Yeah, exactly, Diamond. Exactly. It's easier. You know, it's easier to create an asset than it is on Ethereum. It's easier to integrate into an exchange. Probably much easier to integrate into an exchange than an ERC20 token. Super easy. Yeah. What's up, Batman? So yeah, it's very simple. I mean, look at how long this little description is on how to do it. I mean, it's not very much. It's, you know, just a few paragraphs explaining the whole thing. So yeah, very cool, easy way of launching an STO on Ravencoin. But you know, to comply with the laws, right, the securities laws, you would have to you know, use restricted assets and tags and all that stuff, which we've been covering extensively this week. Although our example and our scenario is a little weird to use restricted assets and tags for. You could probably get away with just tags, but the way that we're doing it is kind of cool. It's actually a use case that does work. Hey, what's up, Unknown Crypto? All right, so let's look a little bit more at our scenario here. I need to fix this up. I need to put addresses and stuff in here. But basically, we have Subaru USA, a main asset on the Ravencoin network. And then underneath of that, we've got sub-assets. So Subaru USA creates sub-assets for each model of car. In our little example here, we're talking about the STI S209. And so that is the one sub-asset that we're talking about. And then Subaru USA actually partners with this company called VIP Ventures. All this is hypothetical and fake, right? I mean, this is not real stuff here. So Subaru USA partners with VIP Ventures. They sell subscriptions to a VIP experience that is supported by certain authorized service centers. And in our case, that is Serpent X Special Forces. He owns a authorized service center. And that's where Brandon Coin and Red Panda Mining could take their brand spanking new S209s to get service, and they could pay for the VIP experience with the restricted asset that they get right here whenever they subscribe to whenever they do the subscription, right? So hopefully this kind of makes sense. I know it's not an STO. We're kind of applying a whole different scenario to it, but I think it's kind of cool. All right, so let's get back to what we need to do. Let's fix this up real quick. So VIP, let me get to the wallet. This is the Ravencoin Subaru wallet, right? In one of the previous streams, we kind of cleaned this up and made a wallet for each entity on our little flowchart here. Before, all this was in one wallet basically, and it was a mess. So we kind of cleaned it up and separated it out. So now I've got a Subaru wallet, which we don't need that one right now. So I'm going to close that. We need the VIP Ventures wallet. That's what we need, I think. Hey, what's up, Serpent? Thanks for tuning in, man. Yeah, I've been talking about you all week and last week. All right, so here is the VIP Ventures wallet. So what I need to do is I need to get the qualifier address. The qualifier would be VIP Ventures. But I don't know. Let's see if this works here. I don't know if, I mean, it's got to have its own address, but I don't know how to see it and how that would work. I would assume that it would be the actual main wallet address, I guess. I could probably go, let's see here. VIP Ventures, that's probably the address right there. All right, let's do this. I think that's right. It would make sense that would be it. Get that in here. And then the VIP experience main asset. Actually, you know what? All that came to this wallet, so that's all going to be the same, right? Might have to look at this a little bit further and try to figure out the actual correct address. I know that should be super easy, but I'm drawing a blank right now on how to do it. Another thing that we need to do, though, we need to get logged into, because the Ravencoin and the Red Panda Mining wallets were actually on Mango Farms website. If I can get there. Where is it at? Here we go. This is basically like an interface, and it has wallet capabilities, asset capabilities, and you could do testnet or mainnet. So it's super cool. I was just using this on testnet, and this is actually, this would be Serpent's address here, or not address, but his wallet, because I only know that because I see that there's one restricted asset, VIP experience restricted asset in here that Brandon Coin paid to him for the service, right? So we need to get logged into, go back over here. We need to log into Brandon Coins. Do that. I have some made up stuff here, so. All right, so this is Brandon Coin's wallet, Ravencoin wallet. And we know that because if we go to assets here, we're going to see the S001 unique asset that was issued to him in previous streams. So he owns the first edition, or the first VIN, the first model of S209 in the USA for Subaru. And then he also subscribed to the VIP experience from VIP Ventures so that he could access those amenities and features at authorized service centers. And you can see here he was issued 12, one per month, right? And so that's why he has 11. And if you go to Serpent's wallet, this is why he has 1, because he was paid 1 of the 12 from Brandon Coin's wallet. So now we need to log on to Red Panda Mining's wallet. And Red Panda Mining should have S002 because he's got the number 2. You see right here. So he owns number 2. And where was I? There I am. And then he also has the VIP experience, and he's got 12 of them because he hasn't taken his car in for service yet because he's a slacker. So he is basically running his car into the ground. And I don't know if y'all saw this or not, but whenever we first created this asset, I actually put that there was like 550 miles on it or something like that, because I said that I drove it for a while before giving it to him. So yeah, I put some miles on your car there, Red Panda. All right, let's see if we can see what's the next step. We've got a checklist here. Let's go to the checklist and see what we need to do here, because I've been kind of working on this. So we need, okay. So I wanted to show the benefits or how IPFS works, right? And because we are using unique assets, they can't be reissued. So that sucks for IPFS, because if you can't reissue it, then you can't change the IPFS. I tried last night, or in the Wednesday night stream, and it let me put the, I can't believe I just said it let me. I was able to put the IPFS hash into the asset whenever we transferred it, but nothing happened with it. It just kind of like ignored it, because you can't reissue a unique asset from what I understand. So you can kind of see that if you go to create an asset in the Ravencoin wallet, manage assets in the Ravencoin wallet, and then let's see, I don't have a unique in here. I'd have to create one and all that stuff. So let's see, if I go to Subaru, let me go back to the Subaru wallet real quick. Luckily, it just takes a second for. No, it was Batman. It wasn't Brandon that's a slacker, right? Wasn't it Red Panda? Yeah, it was Red Panda's that's a slacker, not Brandon. Brandon's good. He's taken his to the shop, but Red Panda has not. All right, so you got this unique asset here, and you can see that because there's a hashtag here, and you've got the sub asset and then the unique asset. So if you send the asset, it will allow you to put the IPFS hash here, but it won't. From what I can tell, it will not add it because you can't reissue it. You can transfer it, but you can't reissue it. Let's see if I choose this. See, that's not a unique asset. That's just the sub asset there. So yeah, there's not a way of doing it, I guess, because we transferred this unique asset, or not this one, but we transferred S002 to Red Panda. And whenever we did that, I actually included the IPFS, but it didn't do anything. It wasn't accessible. So anyway, all right. So what I wanted to do is actually clear this up by burning the S001, and then we could see if we could include some IPFS data in there. I think that's what I want to do, and I'm going to use global upload, I think. Let me get into there real quick. All right, so this is the IPFS website that we'll use. Hopefully, I think this is one I used for previous tests with this whole process, and I think that it should be good. So all right, so let's go with the next step, which is burn Subaru S001 from, and because Brandon Coin owns it, that's what we have to go into his wallet to actually do that, to actually burn it. So here it is. Here's the unique asset. Hopefully this doesn't mess up our whole scenario here. I don't think it will. I think this should be good. So you can see here it's not reissuable, right? Which just means that you can't change the number, you can't change the IPFS hash, you can't change anything about it. It's a unique asset, and once it's done, it's done. It can't change. So it becomes a NFT, I think would be the right name, a non-fungible token, right? So we are going to click the little arrow here to either transfer or burn it, and we are going to try to burn it. There's only one of them. Let's burn it. Okay, it looks like that worked. Or at least it's on the it's going out on the chain right now. All right, so if we, let's see, I don't think, I mean, we could go and look at the transaction ID and stuff. We'll just give this a few minutes. Although I have experienced where if there's not enough nodes on the testnet nodes on the network, then it just kind of like sits here and doesn't do anything. But in this case, we're not going to be able to see it over here. We would have to go, to the wallet here, and I don't know if there's like a way of looking at transactions in here. Yeah, we're probably just going to have to refresh from time to time and see if it goes away. And actually it just did. So, all right, so that asset is burned. I mean, it probably still needs to be confirmed. It probably has like 6 confirmations or whatever. So it still needs to be burned, but I would consider this right here, or confirmed, but I would consider this to be done. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. All right, so we want to recreate that S001 with some IPFS data to make it kind of cool, right? So we're going to go into the Subaru, because remember, we have the admin asset of the sub asset S209, which is the model of the car. So we have to be the ones that issue that unique asset. So we're going to go to create assets and then go to unique asset. and we're going to create it underneath the sub asset for the model of the car. And then the name is going to be S001, which is the same as what it was before. Okay, so it's telling us that the asset name is already in use. So I think we should be able to recreate this once it's confirmed and burned. I cannot see how, if you burn the asset, that it won't allow you to create one of the same name. I don't know, I could be wrong, but it would seem like that's the case. And you can see right here, just to note, you can't select reissuable right here. So because it's a unique asset. See, if it's a sub asset, you could. And reissuable just means that you could change the quantity. You can't go lower. You can go higher, but not lower. Because if you go lower, like let's say you created a main asset, and that main asset had 21 million, right? I don't know if that's right or not. Whatever the number that is, that's how many you have, right? Then if you selected reissuable, and then you sent that asset to someone else, and you sent the admin asset along with it, then they could actually change the total supply. But they could only increase it, not decrease it. Because decreasing it would be essentially burning coins on the Ravencoin network, right? So anyway, that's just a little side note there. So get back to unique asset. All right, check availability, still says no go on that. So I'm curious, hopefully it'll let us. I think it will. You know, things can get a little bit crazy on testnet though, but we'll see. I think it will work. But while we're waiting on that, actually, you know what, we can just press on and burn some other stuff. So we need to also burn the S002 that Red Panda Mining has, because we want to add IPFS data to that as well, that token. So we're gonna tackle this right here. Let's go in there and burn that one. We're gonna go to Red Panda Mining's wallet here. And I gotta remember which one is which. So this is Red Panda's, all right. I'm gonna click on the asset here. This is the unique asset, just like the other one. I'm gonna click burn. Amount is 1, because there's only one of them. Put the PIN number in there and burn. All right, so if we click on the transaction ID this time, you see how it's an unconfirmed transaction. We could probably go and find the transaction ID for the other one and check it out as well. So if we go to transactions here, we burned. Okay, so whose wallet? What wallet am I looking at? This is Subaru. Oh, we didn't burn it from here. That's right. We burned it from. Yeah, it'd be tough to get the transaction ID for the one from Brandon Coin, I think. Probably a way of doing it. I just don't know how. So we probably have to wait on this to become a confirmed transaction, I would assume. It did go ahead and take it out of his asset list here, which is cool. Alright, so it got a confirmation, so that's good. So that means that the testnet network is actually, you know, doing stuff, so that's a good sign. So we're going to mark this out. And I think we have to wait on a little bit of confirmations in order for things to, in order for us to be able to actually create the two assets in here, because we're going to recreate the S001 and the S002 unique assets within this wallet right here, so that we can then reissue them with IPFS data to the owners. of those two cars. So if I put 4 in here, right, we've never created a 4, so it's probably going to be good. See, so let's see. I'm just hoping that it's going to let us create the 0 or the 1 and the 2. This is kind of a good test because I never read anything on that, like whether or not you could recreate a burned asset's name exactly as it was. I can only assume you can, because if you're burning, you're taking that out of circulation. So let's see. The block times for Ravencoin are 1 minute. So, you know, if it needs like about 6 confirmations before it's good, then it's probably about 6 minutes, roughly. All right. See how many confirmations we got. So we got 2 confirmations now. So it is moving through the chain here. That's a good sign. Yeah, Serpent, I believe so. I think that we're stuck until I don't know how many confirmations you need. I think most of the time I see 6 as the minimum, but I don't know how it handles that. It seems like maybe the Mango Farms wallet actually works a little bit faster than that, so it'll allow creation. So we could, if I had Subaru on Mango Farms, it might actually work a little bit faster. I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't. So we have to deal with it the way it is. And then after this is done, let's see. So we wanted to add the IPFS data. That's going to be cool. Cool test. Hopefully that works. That's such an important part of the platform, being able to include, you know, what you would include in there if it was a real situation, like if you were launching a security token offering or STO on this platform, you would include probably in your IPFS data, it would be official documents. You know, in our case, we're going to be using certificate of authenticities, which is kind of a cool thing. Like, let's say that you were tokenizing a baseball card or whatever, right? It has a serial number. You could have a certificate of authenticity that you could have the actual paper copy, and then you could also have a scanned copy, like a PDF, that you would attach as IPFS onto the token to have that type of validation, right? That it is what you're saying it is, that it's authentic and all that stuff. So it's definitely I tweeted a long time ago about how if there's one thing about the crypto space that is like a match made in heaven, it's like a perfect match, is blockchain and IPFS, because with those two hand in hand, it's a powerful combination for sure. And you'll see that once we get into this, you'll kind of, hopefully you'll understand what I'm saying here, if you don't already. Still needs confirming here. What do we got? We got only 2 still. But that means that now this is S002. So S001, we were a little bit earlier doing S001, so it should be a little bit further along. But it's still saying already in use. this is just where I do believe that we're just gonna have to wait. We just have to wait a little while for this to go through. Let's see, while we're waiting, take a look at the market a little bit. Uh-oh, it turned red on me. I had my green lights on because, you know, it was green earlier, but it's only a little bit red as far as BTC goes. Just a little bit. Dominance is creeping up a little bit, so a little bit more money is going into BTC. Let's see, we could talk about what I'm mining. I'm still mining Zell. I've been mining Zell for a really long time now. A long time for me anyway, because I usually switch around pretty often. And so it's kind of surprising that I left it on Zell for so long. This one NVIDIA rig here. And I'm probably on maybe week 3, possibly a whole month, but I think it's maybe somewhere around week 3. Using Hashrate OS, not really doing much, you know, playing around with it too much. Got it tuned pretty well, I think. So I've just kind of left it alone. Although I did play around with some different temperatures and stuff, or different fan speeds and whatnot here recently. I wish I could get the temperatures down a little bit more, but my ambient room temperature is a little high, so it plays an important role in the whole temperature of the GPU and the fan speed and all that stuff. Oh, you want to look at swap? Okay. I think if we go to the Kessel rig here, there's our favorite MWC up there. I mean, it is profitable by a significant margin here. 253 on my 11 cents per kilowatt hour. 253 a day on this little 6 GPU NVIDIA rig. Older GPUs, the Founders Edition. And it is hitting 253 a day profit. That's humongous. All right. Swap is $1.62 after electric. I mean, look, guys, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, these are seriously great numbers compared to what we've seen for the past year. I mean, the past year, there was a time where the RX 580s there wasn't a single profitable coin. It was all negative, every one of them. You know, even ETH and Ethereum Classic, all negative. That's not good. So seeing some positive here is actually a really good sign. and it seems like it's, you know, it went from 20 cents to 40 cents to 80 cents a day, and now we're up over $1, and now we're approaching $2, you know, on the more common coins. So for a 6 GPU rig, obviously, but yeah, not bad. I'm actually pretty happy about it. Yeah, so the swap is doing okay. Definitely profitable. I think that it does okay on AMD also, right? Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, not so much on AMD. That's right. It's a Kukuru algorithm. That's right. CT31 is pretty profitable too. You know, that I wonder what Red Panda. I wonder what a Radeon 7 is going to get, because you will be able to mine Kukuru 31, Kuka 2 31, $1.50 a day for each GPU. If you were trading in that, you know, converting that to fiat every day. Actually, not every day, right this second. So yeah, not bad, not bad. $1.50 a day for a GPU is not bad. That's like, what, 2018, mid 2018, somewhere around there. So yeah, not bad at all. All right, let's go and check and see if we have some validations here. Where do I need to go? What was I doing? Oh yeah, we're here. So create asset, check. Still says in use. Check our, how many confirmations we have here. So still only 2. So I'm hoping that we aren't getting a situation like I experienced the other day with testnet, and it just wasn't, the block times were so long. I don't know, let's see, it would mean that more miners, no, less miners came online, right? Or less people had their nodes running on testnet. So I hope that we are not just frozen here. I don't have any 2080 Ti's there, Leo. I don't even know. The only person that I know off the top of my head that has a 2080 Ti for mining anyway is Crypto Christopher Walken. I think he's got at least one. I would imagine Bitsby Trippin has one. Don't think Serpent, do you have a 2080 Ti? I don't think Ravencoin. I think he's looking at getting one, and I don't think Red Panda has one either. I could be like totally messing it up. Like I'm the inventory guy for their GPUs or something, right? Like I know what everybody's got. I have no idea. I just know based on their videos. Maybe HashRaptor? I don't think he has a 2080 Ti. He has a lot of 1660 Ti's though. Yeah, Serpent, I was asking if you had a 2080 Ti. Leo was asking. Yeah, right on. Yeah, they're super expensive. Aren't they still like over 1,000? Yeah, no doubt, Serpent. That dude, how sick would that be if we won that? What was it? A Cypherpunk? Yeah, Cypherpunk edition. Oh man, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Those were some sick looking cards. Yeah, they're still like $1,000, man. That's expensive. Still only 2 confirmations for this. Man, I hope we're not hung up here. That's not going to be good. Yeah, Leo, if you put that thing to work like while you're not gaming, then yeah, that's pretty cool. As long as you've got cheap electric. still take quite a while to pay for it, you know, to break even on it. All depending on your electric, of course. Serpent, you refuse to pay over 1,000. I refuse to pay over 200. Oh man, yeah. I mean, I definitely have paid more than 200 in the past, but right now that's about what I would be looking at. Anybody got any questions over what we're trying to do here while we're waiting, or anything cool to talk about? This is just the joys of doing it live, I guess. So what I kind of plan on doing is I'm going to come up with another scenario, but basically I'm just going to chat a minute while this is going, but I want to do a whole other scenario where it's, instead of building it like as we go, like we did this one, it'll be planned out, pre-planned, and we will be basically launching an STO, a security token offering, on Ravencoin. You know, it'll have a specific name and all that stuff, and it'll have coin supply and, you know, different things that a normal STO would have, and KYC, several different types of KYC. You know, KYC, AML. It could all be a different company, and then also like DEA. There's all kinds of different entities that you could use to tag addresses to make them valid to receive a restricted asset. That's the whole point. And I think it would be cool to highlight that whole scenario as well. I think it's gonna, once it's understood what this is for, I think that there will be STOs launched on it. I don't see how there couldn't be. Especially whenever people find out that you can actually list them on exchanges with the whole compatibility mode and the emulation mode, which is super cool. And all that is like, it's not stopping anyone from easily launching a STO on this platform. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that so that we can get a real good understanding of how that works also. Because again, we're kind of like, this scenario is kind of flailing around, just trying to shoehorn a scenario into the platform real time, just as we go, right? Instead of really planning it out, we had to change things along the way. I mean, it is working, but it's just not, it wasn't real smooth, you know, and it was drawn out over lots of different live streams and different videos. So it took a lot longer than it needed to, I think. You can do this pretty quick, actually, if you plan it out right. So yeah, this thing just appears to be not moving. Although there's 3 now, so that's good. 3 confirmations. That means maybe S002 might have 4, or S001, I mean, might have 4. What am I trying to create over here? Is it 2 or 1? Oh, yeah, 1. Okay. I mean, we could easily change the name, but I really want to see if it's going to let us create a new unique token with the same name. We could also probably just go to, let's go and see let's see if we can find out whether or not we can do it or not. probably best place to go would be Medium, most likely. Let's go to Tron Black's Medium. Maybe search for unique assets. No. Go Ravencoin. Nope. A node's mempool will reject the asset transaction if the same asset already exists in its mempool. A block with the same asset name and two different transactions is an invalid block. Blah, blah, blah. A block with an asset name that is already in a block on the existing blockchain. But see, it's not, the burned asset won't, see that would be my question, is whether or not, is it considered, if you burn it, it's taking it out of circulation, but does that mean that it is no longer, the name no longer exists? Anyone know? I didn't see in here where it doesn't say anything about creating, like once you burn it, are you able to create the same name? Alright, so let's go back here. I also want to get into memos and voting and messaging and all that stuff too. don't even know what the song is. It's just some background music from the YouTube library. That's all it is. S002. I'm gonna have to get the whole address here. I don't know how to search the correct way, I don't think. Let's see here. This is the testnet explorer here, but it doesn't seem to be finding anything. Yeah, see, this is what's kind of concerning me. See how it says latest transactions down here? There's just not much happening, right? 4-minute blocks, 8-minute blocks, 25-minute blocks. So things on the testnet are just slow. There's probably not a lot of people on it. I think that's what's kind of holding us up here, which is fine. What we can do is just, we can modify this a little bit. We'll just add a 0 in here, right? So S0001 instead of just S001. Check availability, good to go. Now, that means that my IPFS documentation is going to be a little bit off because I made it for S001, but that's okay. Not a big deal. I'll show you what I mean here. So this is the certificate of authenticity for that car, which is now 0001. And we are going to attach this to the asset, to the token, using IPFS. And technically, I guess the right wording would be that we are going to add IPFS to the token that references that hash, IPFS hash for that specific document. So the first thing that we have to do is actually get that document on IPFS, right? And get a hash for it. So we have to come over here to, we can use global upload. I'm just going to click and drag that PDF over here. Use transport. And this is where I kind of ran into a little bit of problem the last time. I tried to copy this whole path right here. I don't think that this was working. I think I had to do it a different way. I want to say I clicked on it and then went to the actual file and then, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here. So we're going to choose add IPFS hash here. So the hash would only be, okay, oh, it's telling us. It didn't do that last time, I don't believe. Let's start with QM. I don't believe that it told us that last time. That's cool if that is something that they've added. So we're going to go like this. It says it's got to start with QM and be 46 characters. All right, so I don't know how many this is. It's only 35. Now, QM and 46. All right, so let's go to here. I'm going to click on it. And I believe that what we actually get up here ends up being the right number. So let's see. Yep. All right, so what we did, so the website, the global upload I.O, whenever you do this part, this does not work. This is like a shortened link, even though this one is really short, but this one is also shortened in some way, because whenever you click on it, it actually gives you the full, I don't know if you guys can see that, you probably can't. Up here in the address bar, it gives you a really long address that ends up, let me see if I can pull this down so you can kind of see it. I think you can see that right there, yeah. So if you go up here and then click end, you can see how the QM number here, the QM string, is really long. This is 42 characters or whatever it needed. Because whenever I copied that, all I did was whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Copied that like that, and then pasted it into here. Then it worked. I don't know why that worked and the other one didn't, but anyway. All right, so now we have S0001 IPFS hash attached, and then we're going to create asset. And this is a unique asset, so it's only 5 Raven, which is super cheap. We're gonna go create, and then yes there. And it has been sent to the network. Okay, great. So now we need to create one for S0002, also a unique asset. So we're going to go S0002. Valid. We're going to put IPFS hash on here also. So we need to get the out of here, back to global. And you go to get, not what I wanted. There we go. So we're gonna, I have a PDF for 002. And remember, this is the one that has 572 miles on it. This is Red Pandas. And I drove it a little bit before I gave it to him. So that's why it's got those miles on it. And again, you know, it's 0002 now, but it doesn't really matter. But I mean, obviously you would want your documentation to match, but we'll just go with it instead of having to recreate that document. So in this case, I'm going to click on this hash here, or click on the link and then grab the, I'll show you real time what I'm doing here. So all I did was I clicked on that link, click up here, go to the end, and copy this everything from QM over. Paste that in here. Valid, good to go. And then create asset. And yes. All right. You can look at transactions. The ones that have the timer next to it, I think we might be able to do stuff with those. But the ones with the question marks, we won't be able to really touch until they get some confirmation. So let's see if we can transfer the S001 to Brandon Coin back to him because he owns that car. So let's see if we can transfer that. I don't know if it'll let us yet, but we will see. Brandon Coin's address is over here in, I could do a new address, but I don't want to do that. This like forces you to do a new address each time, which is definitely very secure, right? And actually in the Bitcoin white paper, Satoshi mentioned that the ultimate security would be for every transaction to have its own address, right? So I don't know if that's why this particular Mango Farms actually has it like that, to where you can't even see what your address is, your current address or your main address or anything. You just have to keep creating new addresses, which is fine. But in our case, for simplicity, I would like it to stay the same. So I do have the original address here. So let me go over here and get that. So this is Brandon Coin S0001, right? We're going to see if we can transfer this to him. So the label is S0001. You don't have to put a label, but we are. And then this lets us do a memo as well. So I wonder if we could reference that same, because the IPFS is actually a part of the unique asset. So this is more like for a memo. IPFS transaction hash to be sent with it. So you could do like a sales, almost like in this case, right? You could do like a receipt or a sales slip or a contract or whatever for the car. You could include that into this transfer as part of the IPFS and actually have that attached to the transaction, right? I think that's the way that would work. That's kind of cool. That's something else I kind of want to get into in future streams, is memos, voting, messaging, all that stuff. I want to break all that stuff down too, because I feel like I'm getting a pretty good handle on the restricted assets and tags. So that's a big beast. So it's good that I feel somewhat comfortable with that. Although I'm still a little foggy on the tags when it comes to multiple tags, like the and or not capabilities of the tags. I'm going to look into that as well. I want to see how that works. But anyway, let me get back on track here. So let's see, what are we doing here? We're transferring S001 to Brandon. Okay. And let's see if this is going to work. Send. Yes. Okay, so that is on its way. We still don't have, we can't do anything with S0002 yet. But if we go over to Brandon Coins wallet, go to assets, well, we're already on assets, and then we do a refresh. So what I'm hoping, okay, what I noticed and what kind of prompted me to do this whole thing was in Mango Farms here, whenever you click on assets and then you click on the asset, you have, right here where it says this asset has no metadata, right? I'm wondering if it's going, because it does have IPFS, I'm wondering if it's going to show up here or some way of clicking on it to actually open the IPFS. I don't know if it's going to be here. I don't know how it's going to work. So that's why I wanted to do this as like a little exercise to see how it worked. We got 6 confirmations now. I do want to go back in there and see if it will allow us to create S001 again. Let's do that real quick. Nope, still not letting us. I'm curious about that. I wonder if it's eventually going, once everything is confirmed and enough time has passed, I wonder if it's going to let us actually create that. That's kind of cool. Leo. Okay, so Tezos, don't know a lot about ETH. I described that earlier, the whole ERC20 capabilities and the ERC 721 on ETH. It's just not easy, and there are a lot of features that are missing from those platforms because they were not designed. See, the thing about Ravencoin is it was designed to be this platform with Ethereum, you've got ERC20 or ERC721. Well, ERC20 for the actual project. So you have those that are riding on top of Ethereum, right? And Ethereum doesn't really support a lot of the features that Ravencoin does when it comes to messaging, voting, memos, restricted assets, tags. All those things are not native inside of Ethereum, and Ethereum wasn't designed to be this. But Ravencoin was designed from the ground up, besides being a Bitcoin fork, but at the protocol level is where these assets exist. And you don't get that on any other platform. There's just not one that's the same as Ravencoin when it comes to this. And you can see how easy we're doing all this from within wallets. Just creating assets and transferring assets, and try to do that on Ethereum, and it's not going to be that easy. But they do have similar capabilities, but it is not nearly as easy. There's videos of people trying to create a token on Ethereum and comparing it to Ravencoin. It's kind of silly, like the process that you have to go through. It literally takes just a few seconds to create a token that could be listed on an exchange on the Ravencoin network. Just a couple of seconds and it's done, right? I'm not trying to shill Ravencoin here, it's not sponsored or anything. I'm just telling you that that's just the facts of the matter. So I like those other platforms too, just not for asset management. All right, so what do we got here? We're missing something here. What's not here that was here earlier? Did we burn? Oh, this is funny. Wasn't there a 003 in here? What am I looking at here? What happened to our 003? We didn't burn, we didn't do anything with that. That's funny. Okay, all right. This is kind of weird. Oh, look, now they showed up. How weird is that? I wonder why this one went away. This one should have never went away because we weren't even doing anything with it. All right, so now this one is showing up here, but we already transferred that one. No, we didn't transfer. What do we do here? Okay, so we transferred 0001. We haven't done anything with 2 yet. But 2 showed up now, so that's cool. If we go to transactions. Alright, so that makes sense. That's why it showed up now, because it's trying to get. You see how it says 1 of 6 recommended confirmations? So I would imagine after 6, you should be pretty good. Do whatever with the asset. All right, so but we did send S0001, so now we can send S0002. All right, so let's transfer assets. I'm gonna go with 0002, and we need to give this one to Red Panda. Not give it to him, he's actually buying it, right? In our little scenario here, our little fake scenario. All right, so his address is, I've just got it on a notepad, so I have it pretty available here. We're gonna go S0002, amount 1. Not gonna put a memo or anything in there, and then we are going to click send. So this is transferring the unique asset that, yeah, I stopped because I was thinking that I didn't attach the IPFS to the unique asset, but we did that whenever we created it, so it should be good. I was like, dadgummit, I'm going too fast. All right, so now you saw me do a refresh on this. This is Brandon Coin's web wallet under Mango Farm, his Ravencoin web wallet. So now I think, fingers crossed here, I think if we click on this now, we're going to be able to see the IPFS data, maybe. I don't know how this works, so let's click on it. Really click on it. All right, I clicked on it. That one opens. This one does not open. All right, let's do a refresh. Click on it. Nothing. Maybe it needs more confirmations before you can actually click on it. So let's see if Red Panda got his yet, or at least showing up in here. Not yet. Yeah, Leo, there's actually a really good, you go to, I need to document this one. I need to look at that a little bit further, but let me make a note of that real quick. You go to Medium and go to Ron Black's Medium post here. Oops. There's one that he wrote that says, is it better than an ERC20 token? It's an older one, somewhere down here. Ravencoin, better than an ERC20. He says yes, and then that was it, right? But then he goes on to explain why, right? I thought I had highlights in here, but let's see, what are some significant notes here? Okay, one would be with Ravencoin, the assets don't get lost. That seems to be an issue on Ethereum and Bitcoin. Because see, here's the thing, Bitcoin itself has the capabilities, sorry about that, Bitcoin itself has the capabilities of supporting assets too, but the problem is that it's not like a part of the protocol that is asset aware. So if you were to attach an asset, a token, to a Bitcoin transaction and send it to someone, and then they didn't know that that asset was attached, then they could just spend it, and then that asset is gone forever, right? So that's one of the drawbacks of doing it on Bitcoin itself. Again, you know, Raven was built for this purpose. It was designed and built for this purpose. So all those things have already been considered, you know, and built into the protocol. So let's see what else kind of notes we got here. Oh, the unique, right? So the names are unique on the Ravencoin network. On the Ethereum network, if you were to build an ERC20, you could create the same exact ERC20 name as someone else, right? And then you would not know which one is which without looking at the code. So that's another big drawback. Yeah, and he talks about right here he talks about tokens being lost. As of a year ago, millions of dollars worth of tokens were lost. The solution to this was 223. There was a technical problem with it. Yeah, see right here he says, and the name of the asset can be used again by someone else, like I was saying. You could create, you know, if you wanted to go on Ethereum and create an ERC20 token that was named Chainlink or Link right now, you could do it. And you can't do that on Raven. Now he doesn't, it's not just slamming Ethereum. Ethereum wasn't designed for that, for this purpose. Ethereum is a smart contract platform, not an asset platform, right? So he gives, you know, credit where credit's due here. And he says, you know, Ethereum smart contracts are amazing, powerful, and flexible, perfect for purposes, but they're inferior to purpose-built asset platform like Ravencoin. All right, let's go and check and see where we are at with our assets here. Do a refresh. Click. Still nothing when I click. Probably. I was definitely able to click them before, so I wonder if we're just still waiting on like confirmations here. This is Brandon Coin. This is Red Panda. He hasn't received his S002 that we already shipped yet. And you can see that it still has a question mark next to it. So we're just in that funky waiting on the blockchain to actually work scenario, right? And confirmations and all that stuff. Let's see, what are we talking about here, Leo? Yeah, I think that the 2020 is going to be DeFi for sure on Ethereum, on the Ethereum blockchain for real, for sure. You know, being smart contracts on Ethereum. I think, I don't know, I just see so many great things happening on Ethereum. It is, it's one of those things where, yes, there are competing platforms, and there's plenty of them, but Ethereum has a significant first mover advantage. There are far more developers on Ethereum than any other platform that I'm aware of with regards to smart contracts. Leo, what do you mean by decentralization of smart contracts? Are you talking about like the different platforms? Neo and Cardano, I think, right? And I don't even know all of them. All the different platforms for smart contracts. Yeah, this is really just waiting on things to get through. That's really all it is. But I'm really curious, man. I want to be able to click on this and actually see something, you know. Let's go to the testnet. SGIS 209. Let's see if we can find it on. Okay, so see, now there are some transactions here. See? So that is good. You know what I should do? I should start mining with my wallet. That would probably help. Let's do that. I think it's true. I have an 8 core, so we'll go 4. All right, so now I'm actually mining with my wallet. I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. That should probably help the network a little bit. Where are we at with our checklist here? We recreated, we named it S0001. I don't know why I'm not putting check marks next to here. Check marks look better, I think. All right, we did that. We created. We actually have done all this. We're just waiting on confirmation, right? So technically, we probably didn't need to recreate the name, right, or change the name. Although I think that probably sped it up a little bit, just because we didn't have to wait on all the confirmations on the burning. But I still want to find out if after enough time passes, whether or not we can actually recreate a S001 and an S002. I think that's going to be kind of cool to find out. Yeah, see, those haven't even started yet. All right, so S0001 is almost all right, this was an issue. So the sent, this is the one that I want to see confirmed right here, because this is the one that we sent it to Ravencoin right here. This was the creation down here, asset issued, and right here is the sending. Leo, what is XMR 2.0? Do you mean ETH 2.0? So again, we're just kind of waiting on confirmations here. We're getting close though. Oh, right. Like if ETH implements some privacy features, you mean? All right, so now we've got S0002 showing up in Red Panda's wallet. That's good. Can't click on it for sure. I'm guessing this. I don't remember seeing this big S over here before, but I don't know where it pulls that from and what that means. But eventually, I want to be able to click on this like I do this. See how it opens up. Right now, I click on it and nothing happens. I think we have to wait on the stuff to get all confirmed and everything. All right, while we are waiting on that, I am going to go and get another drink. So I will be back in a couple minutes. And maybe I'll change my shirt too. I'll be back in a minute. All right, I am back. Savage shirt, so we're good now. All right, let's check and see where we're at with this transactions. Still not confirmed. A little bit of a waiting game here. I know DCA Adventure is also live, I believe, right now. Not trying to compete here, but I just wanted to get through this. So looks like they're doing a giveaway. So once we're done here, once I feel comfortable that things are moving along, we'll head over there, unless they're already done. Looks like they might be done actually. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to check that out and see. Hey, what's up, Gundy? What is going on? If you're just getting here, we are trying to wait. Well, we're not trying. We are waiting on some confirmations for some assets that we're sending from our Ravencoin QT desktop QT wallet to the Mango Farms wallets for Red Panda and Brandon Coin in our little scenario of this whole restricted assets and tags and all that stuff that we've been working on for a week and a half now. So it looks like, oh, you know what? This one might be done. All right, so we should be able to go, hopefully, we can go over here to Brandon Coins and actually click on it here, hopefully, soon. Still nothing. I really want to be able to click on that and have something come up. Because I want to be able to see the IPFS data. I think that that's going to be kind of cool. Let's see what we could do too. Let's go in here. Let's go this. It's not going to work like that. So let's go Subaru. Oh wait, testnet. All right. We recreated that. We went here. Alright, so even there it doesn't really open. See how the old one opens like this? I believe that it's just because of the confirmations and stuff, maybe. Just nothing's happening. Although it looks like it's fully confirmed here. Because what I'm thinking is going to happen. Here's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Whenever we open it like that, we click on it like that, then we should be able to see, I'm hoping that we're going to see metadata down here or a link or something to where we can see the IPFS data, that PDF file, the certificate of authenticity that we attach to this, or to the S0001 asset. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to see it. If not, then we will do this. I'll revamp the whole thing and we'll do it a completely different way, and just to make this work the way that I would like to see it work. Because right now it's not, but it's only because I think it's just because it needs more confirmations probably to show that data maybe. Yeah, see how nothing happens whenever you select it. This is an old one that we created, you know, last week or whatever, so it's definitely got confirmations on it. So I think that that's probably what the problem is. No, I am not a dev at all. If you were to, I would not be the person to ask how to start. like coding from scratch, I believe that probably a good start would be PowerShell or something like that, but that's not going to get you very far in like blockchain technology, right? I don't know. There's plenty of other people on here that would probably be able to help you better than me. I would say that if I was to start like fresh, if I were you and was just looking to get into it, maybe look at some of your favorite projects and find out what languages they use, and then, you know, if you're interested in that project, maybe you would be interested in the language that they're using to code that project, right? Yeah, my opinion would not be very good on coding. Someone that might be able to help would be Bitcoin Jake 09. If you see him in, he's sometimes in my chat. He's sometimes watching videos. Sometimes he's on Twitter. Also, he's the one that created the. Hey, what's up, Crypto Mikkel? He's the one that created the Satoshi Quest on Minecraft. That's been getting a lot of publicity, I guess you could say, the past couple weeks. A lot of people are talking about it. It's really cool. You can actually find Bitcoin on on a Minecraft game. I don't know anything about it because I don't play Minecraft. So, but apparently it is really neat because as you're going through the Minecraft world, map or whatever you want to call it, if you are getting close to finding the treasure, then it alerts all the other players, the other people that are also searching for the treasure, Satoshi's quest, Satoshi's treasure. I don't even know what it looks like. It's probably like a treasure box, I guess. I don't know. So it alerts all them and lets them know your location and that you're close to the treasure, so that they can actually come and y'all can fight over it and stuff. I guess. I mean, that's super cool to me. That's a really neat. I don't even play the game, but it's interesting to me. But anyway, Bitcoin Jake 09 would probably be a good person to ask where to start with coding. So if you see him on Twitter, he's got a channel also. He does a daily video. Let's see. I think his channel is Bitcoin Jake 09, I think. See if he's got any contact info in here. He doesn't. So I would imagine you would have to hit him up on Twitter. This is his channel here. You probably have to hit him up on Twitter, or maybe find him in a Discord to ask him. Okay, so cool. Look at this notification here. Oh wait, no, these are mine. Okay, so all of our transactions that we sent regarding our assets are all good. This is what I'm mining, because remember I turned on mining so that I'm actually helping the network here. So I wonder. See, so this is 10 confirmations. S001 has 12. So man, I really think that they should be showing up properly over here now and able to click on them. Still nothing though. Wonder if maybe, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to log off and log back on. I don't know if it's going to help or not. This is Brandon Coin's wallet, right? Sign out. Access wallet. No, that's not the right one. Still nothing. That's weird. I'm kind of wondering. I don't remember. I mean, I did click on a unique asset before. Yeah, I was able to click on them before and it did open because I remember seeing that it was not reissuable and all that stuff. So I guess we're just waiting on some more confirmations. Maybe it takes a lot more confirmations to be able to actually see the little pop-up like this. It's always fun waiting on blockchains to work, huh? Let's go and see what Raven's doing in the market here. Everything's a little bit red, our little watch list here. 3% isn't much. 1% isn't much. Not in crypto. Tezos is getting a little drawback here, a little pullback. Can't believe 580s are profitable again. That's freaking awesome. Not real profitable, but they are profitable. So that's cool. Man, CCX is way down there, but it uses so much less electricity. That's another reason I like mining that. Only 21 cents. Favorite project in crypto? Well, I started off with 10, and I told myself, you know, I was gonna follow 10 projects pretty closely and cover, you know, information on the channel, do content on the projects and what they do. But I quickly discovered that 10 is too many. It is really hard to keep up. I mean, if I didn't have a full-time job, then I could probably do it. But having a full-time job and trying to do that, it was tough. So I've got it to 6, basically, which isn't a lot less than 10. I understand that, but it's somewhat easy to follow 6. So if I was to go, this is not in order of importance or anything, it's just how they're coming to my mind. It would be Conceal CCX is number one. Not necessarily number one overall, but just the first one that comes to my mind. And then there's Aeon, AION, or the OAN. That's comes to mind second. And then you got Zelle at third, Rio, Swap, and I know I'm going to forget one. Oh, and Raven. I did 6. All right, I got them all. Yeah, Raven, Aeon, CCX, Rio, Zelle, and Swap. Those are the ones I always do content on. If I'm not doing some just random mining stuff, it'll probably be one of those projects. A long time ago, I was doing random coin mining show, and we did a random coin every night, and it was truly random. I had a list of GPU mineable coins, and I would randomly select one, and then we would try to mine it in 30 minutes, right? But I had to kind of abandon that because I was being considered that guy that just mines all these shit coins, right? And supports all these shit coins, and that's not who I am. So I had to kind of get away from that a little bit, and I just kind of changed up the format a little bit and decided on a top 10 list kind of thing, and just went from there. But it was just too much trying to follow, and there were some of the projects just kind of fell off, and I was having to constantly update my top 10 list, and move things around and stuff. So I just have 6 projects that I'm really interested in, that I follow as closely as I can, stay on top of them as far as what they're doing, what's going on in the background. I follow them on their Discord, their Twitter, all their social media, and I try to stay. I don't get too involved, but I will communicate with them from time to time and find out, some details about what's going on. I mostly talk to the CCX guys about stuff, what's going on with them, and the Zelle. I'm pretty involved with them, and Swap. Not involved, but I talk to them. Not so much Raven, because Raven is really a community project. You got Tron and some other people that are, Jeros and those guys that are really involved, but it's a community project, so there's not really anyone. I'm in their Discord and stuff, but I don't really communicate with them about the project at all. The smaller projects like Swap and Zelle or CCX, I do try to stay on top of what's going on with them. Man, this is going to make me mad. I still can't click on that thing. Oh, wait. Did it work? Okay, so I clicked on it, and then I went up here and clicked on this, and it brought up the certificate of authenticity. Ooh, wonder why. I wonder if it's just super slow. Or maybe there's just a weird thing with testnet. It did bring it up. You guys saw that, right? Oh, interesting. I'm just going to single click, and then I'm just going to wait. Maybe it's just not. Oh, that was so cool. Let's go over to Red Panda Mining's and click on his and see if it comes up. It was almost like a glitch because I clicked on it and then I went and immediately clicked on the other one and then it brought it up. And then I clicked off of it for some reason. I should have just left it up for a second, you know. There might just be something weird that you have to do to make it come up. It shouldn't be like that. It should be easy, right? There we go. Okay. Now, that was strange. Let's see if I can recreate that. So I'm clicking here and then I click here immediately. So I click this one and then I click here, but let's see if we just click that one, it comes up normal, right? It comes up like it's supposed to because there's no IPFS data attached to this, right? This is a restricted asset. We didn't put any IPFS data in there. We could, but we didn't. And then if I click here and just think, I'm just clicking one time on that, nothing happens. Then if I click here, nothing happens. But if I go, well, not nothing happens. It opens like it should. But if I go click on this and then click on that really fast, it brings it up. How weird is that? It must be. This must just be a quirk with testnet, maybe. I don't know. I can't imagine that mainnet operates like that. That is strange. But anyway, that's pretty cool, right? So we attached IPFS data. This is the same data that we uploaded, right? Our little PDF that identifies that's the certificate of authenticity for this asset right here. So that is pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing it like that. That's weird. I should be able to just click on this and it come up, but it's not. I'm going click, click, and then it brings up both. All right, well, anyway, whatever. At least we got it to come up. Let's see if we can get, actually, you know what? We can do this now, maybe. No, see, it's still not bringing up anything over here. It should bring up asset information over there. All right, but anyway, so if we go to, this is Red Panda Mining's, so we should be able to see the PDF, the IPFS data on here as well. If we do, probably if we do the same thing, if we click quickly on both. So I just clicked on this one, nothing happens. Then if I click here and here, it brings it up. So S002, this is the one with 572 miles on it. So this is the one that I sent, or that's the IPFS that we attached to the unique asset. So that is super cool. We did it. That was what I was wanting to do. I was wanting to accomplish that. So that is really neat. I don't like the glitch. I don't like that capability or that requirement to do I mean, it's so funny that we just happen to run across it like that. I just happen to click both of them really fast like that and have it come up, but I mean, no one would know that you would need to do that, right? So hopefully it's just a glitch with testnet. It probably is. But something that we could look at in the future, maybe on another stream, is using this interface here to actually create the asset. You see up here where it says Asset Builder, and then you've got all of the different fields for the metadata, and you can put a file in there, and this would be pretty intense. So if we were to create the asset here, then we could include even more information. I think there's a way of doing it here as well with the IPFS data. I think it's way more manual. If we come over here and do it on Mango Farms and actually create the asset from here, I think that we could get really cool. This is a super cool asset or asset creation interface. So Leo, kind of kind of like what we were talking about earlier with simplicity and everything. This is literally all you would have to fill out on Ravencoin to create an asset, right? And you've got upload file, you could do the PDF thing or picture or whatever, create a document. I guess you could probably create something in here. You can create a text document. So you can see how the interface is much simpler. So you can't do it like this on Ethereum at all. It just doesn't have that capability. So yeah, so I think that this is full. See how it's got two options here, full metadata and then single file. So this is neat because you're able to include a lot more information in here. So whenever you use an explorer, so this is testnet. So if we go, let's look at, how can we do this? Let's see here. All right, Shuby, see you later, man. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so this is the address, so that's not what we want. What was I trying to do? I forgot. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to do just an explorer. It wouldn't be asset because I'm using an address. I don't know. I'm kind of getting off the rails here a little bit because I'm tired and we've been streaming for, yeesh, is this 2 hours? Something like that. About 2 hours now, right? Yeah, over 2 hours. Yeesh. Yeah, it's a lot easier, super easy. But again, you know, the scenario that we're using is kind of weird compared to what it would be if you were actually launching a real STO or something on it. Even a fake STO, it would make more sense to use what we're using, you know. I mean, we made it work, but we had to change up things as we went along. So I'll work on what we need to do next, and we will continue on with this whole thing. In our little flowchart here, I mean, we're pretty much straight with this. The only thing we haven't really done is like sent the restricted asset from Red Panda to Serpent, like to pay for one of the VIP services. That's something that we could do. But pretty much we have gone through this scenario a couple of times. You know, we did once with Brandon Coin, once with Red Panda, and then we did all kinds of burning. We did, you know, some asset recreations and stuff. Oh, you know what? Speaking of that, let's see if enough time has passed that we could actually recreate that S001. Nope, still. So this is going to be, I'm really super curious about that, whether or not, even though we burned it, we're never going to be able to create that again. That might be something I'll ask in the Discord, or try to look it up and see if that's true or not. It appears to be, because there's a lot of time that has passed now. I'm mining me up a lot of Raven, a lot of test Raven. So I guess maybe next we could come up with another another buyer for the S003. Maybe it could be Crypto Wendy O or something like that. We could pretend that she bought an S209. That would be kind of cool. Something else that we could do is we could, let's see if we can do this real quick. We could do a reissue on the S209 and give it some IPFS data as well. Let's see if this works. Alright, so we're going to go to global upload again, IPFS, back, probably just did a refresh, and we are going to upload this picture right here of the S209, and we're going to attach that IPFS to the unique, no, it's not unique, it's a sub asset, the S209 sub asset right here. So if we go to manage or overview, you can see this is a sub asset right here, S209. So that's what we're going to reissue it and attach some IPFS data. So let's do that. Alright, so we've got the file uploaded. So we're going to reissue, we're going to say 1. Well, how many S209s are there? 200, we're going to go 209, right? Total. I guess that's one way to do it. Reissuable, we're going to change the IPFS hash. Let's make it It actually turned out a little bit different than the other one. I wonder if this is going to work. Let's see. Looks good. And then we'll reissue it. So what we'll be able to do, hopefully, is we'll be able to look up that asset on the Explorer and access that IPFS hash to see the picture at some point. I'm not going to wait on it. I'm a little tired, so I'm going to get out of here, but that's what we'll do next time, I guess. Oh look, now my highlights are showing up. I wonder why they didn't before. Whenever I was trying to explain this before, it it didn't have my highlights in here. Now it does. All right. Well, anyway. All right. So let me know in the comments of the video. Let me know in chat what you guys thought of this. Whether or not you like this type of content. I know it's a little drawn out and not like condensed and super efficient, but it's real-time stuff, and you know, it's just the way it is. So if you're going to do like a live stream with real content and doing real activities on a real blockchain, even though this is testnet, it still is operating the same as mainnet, then you know, you got to wait on the confirmations for things to happen. So there was one recommendation by one of my subscribers who's like, you know, maybe at the end of all this you could take all of it and condense it down and put it into one video, you know. I might do that, but that's a lot of editing. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do something like that. What would be better for me anyway would be to do another live stream, but have everything pre-planned, like what assets we're going to create, and you know, and then kind of walk through it that way. Although we'll still have to wait on the confirmations and stuff, but at least we won't be readjusting. We won't be adjusting the whole scenario to meet some whatever requirement. So. Yeah, cool. All right. I'm super tired. I don't know if you can see it in my eyes or not. But I will see you guys next time. Yeah, let me know in the comments, or in the in the comments what you thought about this, what you think about Ravencoin, what you think about the tokenization of real-time tangible assets, and how you think all this is going to play in. And also let me know what you'd like to see regarding Ravencoin and this capability. Maybe there's something that you have in mind that we could kind of cover. You know, there's some things I want to do. I want to still cover the whole messaging, voting, rewards. That's super important. I really want to nail down how that stuff works, and then along with the multiple tags, like the Boolean, not Boolean, but the operators where you have and or not capabilities of the tags, whether or not you can receive an asset or not, a restricted asset. I really want to get into that also. So yeah, lots of Ravencoin content coming, I think. Anyway, I'm just rambling. I will see you guys next time. Stay savage, everybody. I'll probably see you tomorrow, maybe during Red Pandas. I think he's doing his community mining rig showcase, probably. So I'll see you over there. Stay savage, everybody.